So, I made the Murasama from Metal Gear Rising in vanilla Minecraft. The way I did this is using Datapacks, and if you know what it is, you can skip 12 seconds ahead. And for if you don't know what the Datapack is, Datapack is basically command blocks and converted into a text file. It's easier to not into an absolute mess, and you can download it after you watch this video, please. And the model comes from another video I made. It's a time lapse, so if you're into that, you can watch that, I guess. Before we start, please click the subscribe button. It doesn't cost you a single dime. It makes me feel better, as well as make me more successful in watching number go up. The Murasama is a weapon from Metal Gear Rising, Your Vengeance, which does not actually dash. It's just a really high DPS, high frequency blade. But of course, mods make everything cooler, like in Terraria. The Stars Above mod adds a really cool version of the Murasama with the charge part which will trigger a dash attack, which this video is completely inspired by. I started with making the blade in an item form. I use this really niche website to apply all the attributes, name and model data. Once I finished tuning the attributes to be just about right, I tested it out on a Wither, which is known to be Minecraft's strongest mob. Shut up please. Okay, so at this point I was like, okay, this is good, it's alright, everything works fine. But what if I added an autoclicker? I was so disappointed with this. You literally used to be able to kill the Wither faster using a single trapdoor and some pointy stone. I had to stop messing around and start working on something that represents something worthy enough to be held by a Brazilian with the same cheeks. But as of right now, this was not the case. So, in order to fix this, I added a slashing AoE attack to the sword, that every time when you hit something, you damage all enemies around the enemy that you hit. I had to use scoreboard commands in order to set the health from enemies, because for some reason there aren't any commands to damage entities. But you can affect mobs with instant damage. This is in fact not going to work, because undead mobs get healed by instant damage, and you can set instant damage to a specific number. I borrowed this code from this genius called Cloudwolf, but don't worry, I gave it back. But I did modify it a bit, since in Cloudwolf's code there was an issue that causes mob drops to not drop. In order to fix this, I made it so that instead of constantly synergizing the health of the mob with the scoreboard, I made it so that upon spawning the mobs, the health synergizes with the scoreboard. And I made it so that every mob that has its scoreboard below 0 dies from the /kill command instead of the execute merge health command. The only issue that this causes, however, is that non-scoreboard damage and scoreboard damage don't synergize anymore. It's like copying someone's homework and changing up the answers a little. After thinking around with a lot of brain damage, it actually worked after a while, and it was looking really good. Testing it out on slimes felt really satisfying, and it was exactly how I wanted it in my head. You can try it out for yourself if you'd like. Next off, I was going to have the dash attack, which is the main focus of this video, even though the real Murasama doesn't have a dash attack. I thought this was going to be pretty simple, since you can't actually test if someone is holding their mouse button. I tried to make it detect multiple right clicks and reset the input after not getting any new right clicks for a second or so. I thought this would work in my head, but I kept trying and it just didn't work. I spent about an hour and a half trying to make this work, but it just didn't. So instead I added a dash attack that when you click your right mouse button once, it flings you forward and damages all enemies in your path with a short cooldown instead of having to hold it for a bit. I would have totally preferred holding the mouse button instead of cooldown, but it's okay. Personally, I think this overall came out really nicely, and all things error code aside, it was pretty fun to make. Of course there's things I could have done better, but I'm literally just a teenager. I hope you enjoyed this video and thank you for watching.